Hi everybody! So today I'm going to show you how to make Mr. Claus Minion. It's designed by Jess Davies, also known as CraftLover17 on Instagram. Now in today's video we're going to be creating his legs, arms, attaching them, the frill on the bottom of the jacket, the belt and the buckle, and the frill on the back of his, the top of his jacket. The beard will be a separate video. That will be next. And just a heads up, it's about 183 bands to make the beard and to attach. Now for this video you're going to need the body done already and the goggles and the hat. The links for those will be down below in the description box. So the supplies that you're going to need in today's video, these are the band counts. So I'm going to get started and I do hope you enjoy. We're going to start off with the arm and I'm going to show you how to do one and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself another. So I'm going to start off with the black color and I'm going to do 5 single crochets in the magic ring using the bottom part of my loom. So I'm going to take my first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to pull 5 bands through one at a time. So with your hook you want to reach in through your cap band, bring your first band through, and put the other end on your hook, bringing the top loop over. Bring it to the side and go back in, leaving this on your hook. Grab your second band to bring through and the other end on your hook. You're bringing the top 2 loops over that bottom loop. Don't pull too hard and bring it to the side. Go back in and you're just going to repeat bringing your third band through on your hook and the top 2 loops over. Don't pull and bring it to the side. Go back in for your fourth. Bring it through and on your hook, top 2 loops over, and bring it to the side. Go back in for your last band, your 5th band, bring it through, top 2 loops over. Attach your stitch marker to the loop that's around your hook. Remove off the loom, move your bands around, and you should have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on your hook. For round 2, this is the pattern. We're going to increase to 8 stitches. So our first chain, we're adding 1 band. And then the next 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, you're adding 2 bands in each. So there will be an increase. So you're going to do 2 single crochets in those chains, 1, 2, and 3. Your last band where your stitch marker is, you're adding 1 band. So let's go in our first chain, and we're going to add 1 band. So do 1 single crochet on your hook and slide. Your second chain is your increase, so you're going to do 2 single crochets in that chain. Slide, go back in that same chain to add your second band. Again, the next chain we're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochets. Back in. Now we're going to do an increase again, so 2 single crochets, back in, and our last chain where your stitch marker is, do 1 single crochet. So you should have 8 stitches, counting the one on your hook, remove your stitch marker, and add it to the band that's on your hook. For round 3, we're just going to do 8 single crochets, so adding 1 band to each chain. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. At the end of round 3, you're going to have 8 stitches. So I'm going to go in my first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and do a single crochet. The next chain with 1. The next. You're going to continue this all the way till you get to your stitch marker. Again, you should have 8 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 4, I'm going to change to white color, so I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. These are my cap bands, so these are the bands that I'm going to wrap around my hook after I do my single crochets. We're going to do 8 single crochets, grabbing the outside loops only. So this loop on the back is the only one that you're going to be grabbing all the way around. They're your outside loops. So what I'm going to do first is, not where it's getting pulled, I'm going to grab the outside loop on my first chain, and I'm going to do a single crochet, but I'm going to start off with a slip stitch just because I'm changing color. So bring it through all the loops that are on your hook, put the other end on your hook, and slide. Now you're going to just kind of give that a pull, not too hard, just slightly, so it will stay and release off your hook. Grab a band and wrap it around your hook 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to do this to each single crochet. Now you could take 4 of these and wrap them around your hook each time, just so you don't have to let go. It will be faster, but I'm not going to do that. So just because I think it'll just confuse. So I'm going to slide it on and go to the next outside loop only. So if you can't tell, just put this on your hook, making sure your chain is flat, and you're just going to release and just grab that outside loop only. Do a single crochet through your outside loop on your hook and slide through both of the chains there. You're going to give it a tiny tug and release and wrap a band 3 times. Grab your loop again. You're going to grab it, put it back on your hook, and slide your cap band on. The next outside loop only, do a single crochet, release, and grab a cap band and wrap 3 times. Grab your end and slide your cap band on. You're just repeating until you get to the stitch marker. A little tug, cap band 1, 2, and 3, grab your end and slide. The last one, same thing, single crochet, release, and cap band. So I just did 8 single crochets, adding a cap band to each, so you should have 8 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. Try not to pull. Now for round 5, I am going to change to red, and I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. Then I'm going to do 8 single crochets all the way to my stitch marker. Now when you're doing this, I'm going to show you how, so you can see your stitches. Don't start where it's getting pulled. Don't start in your slip knot. You want to start in your chain, which is over here. Move your cap band out of the way from your previous round, and you're going to go in and you're just going to grab the inside loops only. So the one loop that's facing the center, don't go through the chain. Grab your inside loop only. You're going to start off with a slip stitch because you're changing color. Bring it through all the loops and slide. Now you're going to see your little knot. You want to move your cap bands out of the way here. This is your one chain. Go to your next chain and grab the inside loops only. So you can put it on your hook, making sure that the chain is flat, and just grab the first loop and do a single crochet. There's your knot. So you want to move your cap band out of the way. One cap band belongs to that chain where you see your little red knot there. you want to move over your next cap band from the previous round. Grab your inside loops only. Remember, put your hook through if you can't grab your chain, and then slide the one in the back off your hook and do your single crochet. Now you see your knot, you see your cap band for that one chain where your knot is. Go to your next and grab the inside loop only. Move your cap bands out of the way. The first cap band belongs to where your knot is. Go to your next chain, do a single crochet. You're going to separate cap bands. This is your next chain, that's your knot. You go to your next chain, grab the inside loop only. And you're going to repeat this 2 more times. So this is my last chain where my stitch marker is. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Don't pull. So you should have 8 stitches. For rounds 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of the arms, you're going to add 1 band to each chain, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. Each pile I have 8 bands, so at the end of each round you should have 8 stitches. I'm going to do round 6 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. Now with your last band you're going to do a slip knot. When I'm done round 6, I'm going to show you how to do that, plus add 2 bands for your sewing bands. So let's start with round 6. You want to do 8 single crochets. Don't start where it's getting pulled. Don't start in your little slip knot. Start in your chain. And just add 1 band to each chain until you get to the stitch marker. The next chain. So this is where you can remove your stitch marker, add it to the band that's around your hook. I do recommend, if you can count the 8 bands around without losing count, I recommend not using the stitch marker, just because it's small and it pulls. Now I'm going to show you with your last band. I put my stitch marker back in the room. With your last band, you want to go in your chain, grab your last band when you're done, and bring it through all the loops that are on your hook. Grab your end and tie it off when you've completed. Now you want to add 2 sewing bands. So what I'm going to do is put my slip knot to the side. I'm not going to go in the chain right beside the slip knot. I'm going to go in the second chain. Put my hook through, and I'm going to go straight across. So I'm not going to go to the stitch beside the slip knot. I'm going to go to the second. I'm going to bring my first band through and do a slip knot. Now I'm going to go to the end and make a slip knot even to this one. So just right at the end, and I'm going to bring it to the side. So this is what you should have. Please pause the video and come back to me when you're done. Round 1 of the foot, I'm going to show you to do 1, and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself another. So I'm going to start off with 7 single crochets in the magic ring, and I'm using black. So I'm going to take my first band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to bring 7 bands through one at a time. So with your hook, reach in, grab your band, and on your hook, and bring your top loop over, that one loop, and bring it to the side. Go back in for your second, bring it through, and bring your top 2 loops over that bottom loop. Bring it to the side. And just continue by going in, grabbing your bend on your hook, top 2 loops over. Attach your stitch marker to the band that's around your hook and remove off the loom. So you should have 7 stitches, counting the one on your hook. Move your bands around. For round 2, we're going to add 2 bands to each chain around. So 2, 2, 2, 2, all the way around. You're doing an increase to each chain. So at the end of round 2, you're going to have 14 stitches. So let's go on our first chain, not where it's, not here where it's getting pulled. Go on your first chain and do 2 single crochets in that one chain. Back in. Now going to the second chain, add 2 bands. And now the third chain, again, just your increase. You're going to repeat until you get to the stitch marker. I have 2 chains left and 2 sections left. You want to remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 3, still using black, I'm going to do 6 single crochets followed by an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on our 7th chain, we're adding 2 bands. You're going to repeat this 2 times, and after round 3, you're going to have 16 stitches. So I'm going to go on my first 6 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, with 1 band in each. Don't go where it's getting pulled. Go to your first chain and just do a single crochet. Continue following the pattern, my next stitch with a single crochet. Now in my 7th chain, we're adding 2 bands. Back in. And repeat until you get to the stitch marker. In. So you should have 16 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 4, we're going to do 16 single crochets. So I have 16 bands, 5, 10, 15, and 16. We're going to grab the inside loops only to each chain around. So I'm not where it's getting pulled. I'm just going to go to my first chain and just grab the inside loop, the one facing the center, and do my single crochet. The next chain, inside loop only, single crochet. And just repeat, inside loop only, do a single crochet until you get to the stitch marker. Drop my stitches. And my last chain where my stitch marker is, same thing, inside loop only and single crochet. Shove 16 stitches and remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 5, we're going to do 16 single crochets, adding 1 band to each chain. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around till you get to the stitch marker. So don't go where it's getting pulled. You want to go on your first chain and just do a single crochet. You're going to continue going to the next chain and do a single crochet. So you're just going through the whole chain all the way till you get to your stitch marker. I dropped my stitches. I'm just going to pick them up. My black bands seem to be very slippery. Shove 16 stitches and remove your stitch marker. For round 6, we are going to do 4 single crochets in the first 4 chains. Then we are going to stitch these stitches together. So 5, 6, and 7 are going to be stitched together. I'm going to be doing like the invisible decrease where you add a slip stitch to the 3 chains and then I'll slide. So I'll go slow there. Then you're going to end with 9 single crochets. So let's go with 1 band in the first 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So not where it's getting pulled. Go on your first chain and do a single crochet. Now in the next 3 chains, do a single crochet. So I just did 4 single crochets. Now let's stitch the next 3 chains together, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go in the first chain here, grab my first band and do a slip stitch. Leave it on your hook. So I have two chains right now. Go to the next chain, do a slip stitch, and leave it on your hook. I have 3 loops. Leave it on your hook, go to your next stitch, do a slip stitch. So you have 4 loops. We're going to slide the end loop through the other 3. So I just stitched 3 stitches together. Now we're going to do 9 single crochets all the way till you get to your stitch marker. my last stitch where my stitch marker is. So right now you should have 14 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 7, I'm going to do 2 single crochets followed by 2 invisible decreases. So I'm going to add an extra band. And if you haven't done those yet, I'll do that with you in a second. Then you're going to do 7 single crochets, and you're going to change to black on your last chain where your stitch marker is to white. I'm sorry, I said change to black. You're going to change to white on the last stitch where your stitch marker is and do a single crochet. You're going to do a slip stitch because you are changing color. So let's just go with the first section first. 2 single crochets in the first 2 chains. Not where it's getting pulled. The next chain. So I just did 2 single crochets. Now we're going to stitch the next 2 chains together by doing a slip stitch in each and leave it on our hook. So you're going to take your first band, this is our invisible decrease, slip stitch, leave it on your hook, and go to the next chain and do a slip stitch. 3 loops and slide. We're going to repeat this again, slip stitch in the next chain, go to the next chain, slip stitch, 3 loops and slide. Now you're going to do 7 single crochets, so go in the next 7 chains, let me see if I can move this up. So you should have 1 more chain left where your stitch marker is. You want to go in there and do a slip stitch because you're changing color. So bring it through all the loops, grab the end and slide, and don't pull. Remove your stitch marker and add it to that white band that's around your hook. For round 8, I'm going to use white, and I'm going to do 12 single crochets grabbing the outside loops only, all the way around. And this is where I'm going to be adding the cap band to each of the single crochets. So not where it's getting pulled. If you can't find your outside loop only, put it through the chain, and you're going to remove your hook and grab the outside loop only. You're going to do your single crochet, give it a slight pull, release, and grab a cap band and wrap it 3 times. Put your loop back on and slide your band. The next outside loop only, single crochet, and then add a cap band. You're going to do this all the way till you get to the stitch marker. Remember, you could wrap a bunch of bands around your hook. You probably want to just do about 4 just to make it faster. Outside loop only. Remember, your last band is white that you did on the previous round, so you don't want to forget that you have to use that band too. Now I'm at the white where my stitch marker is. Don't go in your slip knot. You want to use the actual chain, the outside loop. So you want to remove your stitch marker. Try not to pull the band when you're removing it, and add it to the band that's around your hook. Now for round 9, we're going to grab the inside loop only and do 12 single crochets. I'm going to do round 9 and 10 with you, and then you're going to pause the video and complete the rest of the leg. So for round 10 and 11, you're going to do 12 single crochets. So each pile I have 12 bands. Let's do round 9. The same as the arms, not where it's getting pulled. You want to find your first chain here, and we're going to grab the inside loops only. So move the cap band out of the way from the previous round. If you can't grab the inside loop only, put your hook through the chain and just try to grab the first one so you can see where it's at. Changing to red, so you're going to start off with a slip stitch. Bring it through all the bands. Grab the end and slide. Now where your red knot is, that was your chain. Move your next cap band out of the way and find your inside loop only. So the first chain. Do a single crochet. Move your bands around. And continue until you get to the stitch marker. So you should have 12 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, add it to the band that's around your hook. And now for round 10, don't go where it's getting pulled. Don't go in your slip knot. Go in your first chain and just do a single crochet. Add one band to each chain around. So you should have 12 stitches. Remove your stitch marker. I think I'm just going to do round 11 with you, not where it's getting pulled, and so we can do a slip knot together. I'm always afraid that people won't do the slip knot and then wonder, am I done the leg? So I'm just going to continue with one band in each chain. I'm at the stitch marker. So my last band, I'm going to do the slip knot all through all of the loops. Grab your end and tie it off. You could add some stuffing now just to fill it. So you can grab some stuffing and you want to push some to the bottom of the foot. Don't overstuff. You just want to get the form and you don't want the bands showing through. The stuffing showing through. So then you know you have too much. And you kind of pushed too much down. I love to overstuff, so I'm not one to talk. You want to make sure that the bottom is flat. And if you have a bigger gap right here, the hole, just release by grabbing the little knot on these few bands right around in this area. Just to move them around. My C-clip does that. And that should be okay. You want to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. I missed a row on this leg. I can see that now. Come back. I'm going to fix this, but come back to me when you're done. Now we're going to attach the legs, and I'm going to do both with you, and I'm going to do this side first. So where the back is, you want to find the back, roughly, and you want that facing you when you're sewing on the legs. I'm going to use 12 bands to sew on the legs. So taking the first leg, what you're going to do is fold it in half. Find your band that's going sideways and count 3 stitches to the left. 1, 2, and 3, and put your hook in. So there's the tip of my boot. And I'm going to find where I want to start. So this is my back. This is my slip knot, and I'm going to grab the stitch right above. So to the side and right above there. I'm going to bring my first band through both of the chains. So through the body, through the leg, grab the other end and slide. So here's my back, and now the foot is facing away from me. Now I'm going to go to my next chain on the leg, and I'm going to grab the chain right below. So if I put my hook straight down, loosen it up, it's going to give you an idea of where to grab. So you want to be straight down. You're going to do a single crochet, bring it through the chain on the body, through the chain on the leg, and grab the end and slide. Now the next chain on the leg, put your hook straight down, and it's going to help you to know which chain to grab on the body. And you're going to single crochet all the way around. First the leg, put your hook down, grab the chain where the tip of your hook is, and do a single crochet. Your last band, you're doing a slip knot to tie it closed. Last band, bring it through all the loops that are on your hook, grab your end and tie it off. And your leg is on, so you want to check just to make sure, and that's what it should look. Now for the other leg, I'm going to use 12 bands again, and I'm going to again fold it in half, find the band that's going sideways, and I'm going to count 3 stitches to the right. So 1, 2, and 3, and put my hook through. There's the tip of the shoe. And the same thing. Here's my slip knot on the body. I'm just going to go to the stitch right above, to the side. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that this stitch is even with these stitches on this leg. So you're going to do your first single crochet. Here's the back, and here's the front, so the tip of the shoes are facing forward. Grab your band and bring it through both of the chains to start off, and grab your end and slide. Next chain on the foot, put your hook straight down. You want to make sure you're still even with this leg. Do a single crochet through both chains, the body and then the leg, grab the end and then slide. And then just continue going around, making sure that the tip of your hook is your guide. I'm just going to make sure my legs are even. That might be a little bit too high. Also make sure you're going on each side of your slip knots. The slip knots on your shoe, on your leg. So now when you get towards the back, you want to make sure that you're even with this leg. I think if I go there, I'm just going to try again. It will be too high. No, it was a good choice. And the last one, you want to make sure you do a slip knot to tie it closed. Check the legs and make sure, you want to hide the slip knot. So just by going through the legs and bringing the band through and hiding it. And you can do that to each one around. Now to attach the arms, we're going to use 2 bands to secure each arm. So 1 band for each arm. Now you're going to find the side of your body and you're going to slide your slip knots through the 3 chains on the body. So you want to find the placement. I'm going to go through here. So through the red, grab a slip knot and bring it through. The next stitch on the body, grab the next slip knot, bring it through, and slide under your first. The third, bring it through, and slide. Turn the body around, and you want to catch on to the first slip knot or your sewing band on the arm. Grab your band and do a slip knot to tie it closed. And then you can just go through the arms, grab the slip knot and bring it through just to hide it. And you can add the other arm, making sure that it's even with this one. I can tell that I have too much stuffing in the body, but I don't want to remove until the end, so I can just go in with my hook and just kind of pull some out, just so you know. So I want to make sure that it's even with this one. And bring your sewing band through. 1, 2, and the next stitch, 3. Turn around, grab onto the sewing band, and do a slip knot with the red band. Bring it through and tie it off. And then you can just go through the arm to hide your slip knot. Now we're going to do the little frill around the edge here. I've removed some of my stuffing because I can tell that I had way too much. So I'm going to use white. I'm going to do some with you, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. So somewhere at the back of the body, you want to start, and it doesn't matter which direction you go in, so get comfortable. I'm going to start at the back and go through the red stitch, and I'm going to single crochet to each chain all the way around, adding a cap band. So what I'm going to do first is do a single crochet, grab the end and slide, give it a tiny tug and release, and just add my cap bands. We're going to do this to each single chain all the way around. So the next chain right beside it on the body, do a single crochet, a small tug, and a cap band that's wrapped 3 times. Grab the end and then slide it on. And you're just going to repeat all the way around. When you get to the arms, you're doing the exact same thing. You're grabbing the same stitch where you stitched, and I will do that with you. Again, you can wrap a bunch of the cap bands around your hook so you don't have to keep releasing. It's entirely up to you. What you don't want to do is forget to add a cap band, because it will be so noticeable. Yep, I've done that. So here's where the arms are. I'm just moving that sewing band out of the way and grabbing the top part. So I think that you can pause the video. I'll come back for the last stitch, and then we'll do a slip knot together. So please pause the video and come back to me when you're done. I'm at the last stitch, so I'm just going to continue. And this one I'm going to just do how I was, and then I'm going to use an extra band to do a slip knot in the stitch where I started. So here's where I started. I'm going to catch onto the red, And I'm just going to do a slip knot, bringing it through all the bands, just so it has a closed finish. And I'm just going to hide the white band, the slip knot, by going through the body and then just hiding it. And that's what it should look like. Now we're going to do the same thing at the bottom, and we're going to be starting where your stitch marker is, the one that we left on. You're going to be doing the exact same thing, trying to catch in a straight line. So this is where you're going to start, and then you're going to go over to your next. You're just doing 36 single crochets all the way around, trying to follow your bands. So let's go on our first one and let's try to do this together. So where your stitch marker is, or try to find a row where most times your legs should be about there. So you want to find the bottom. After we're going to be making a belt to about 2 stitches above. So go find a placement. So this is just the bottom part of his jacket. Grab your band and do a single crochet, remove and add a cap band. To the next one. So if you give it a tug, you're going to see right beside the little chain, and all you're trying to do is just go on a straight line. After about 5 stitches probably, you'd want to make sure that it's straight. Give it a tug, go to the next stitch right beside. So about every 5 stitches or so, you want to make sure that it's straight. So you can keep on going, you can give it a pull, and you want to make sure that you're going right beside it. So we're going to just check, just to make sure. So I think you can pause the video and keep going all the way around, and we're going to end the same way that we just ended here with the slip knot. You want to do the exact same thing. So please pause the video, and we'll do the belt next. So far, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to do the belt. So I'm going to use black, and I'm going to do the same thing as we just did here. Now with the black, if you want to change it up and kind of just do slip stitches to each one of the chains instead of adding a cap band, that's up to you. So what I'm going to do is where your frill is, you're going to see 1 hole, go above, 2 holes, and 3 holes. These are the chains that I'm going to be grabbing. I should have showed you on the back. Sorry. So let's go again. So here's the back. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. This is where I'm going to be going. So it's kind of like the center of the body. So from the top, it's 1, 2, and 3. And start which way you want to start. And again, all you're doing is doing a single crochet, adding a cap band. Again, you could if you don't want to do that and you kind of want to just save your bands, just go to the next stitch. Give me 1 second, sorry. And what you're going to do is just slip knots. I don't think a chain would look good. So you can just keep on going, or I haven't tried, so I really don't know. So you can just do little slip stitches. So you're just gonna bring your bands through all the loops, just so it's a tighter kind of look. But I'm going to be adding the cap bands. And you're gonna end the same way that you ended with these two. So go to the next. And wrap a band. So I'm pretty sure that at this point you should know how to do this one. So I don't think you need to watch me. So if you could pause the video and continue all the way around and end the same way as you ended with these. Please pause the video and come back. Now we're going to do the little buckle on here. And you're going to find your center. So if your bands are opened like mine, you want to just kind of push it together and find 3 stitches on the center of the body that's above the black. I'm going to be grabbing the red right above the black. So that's where I am looking right now. So I'm going to use 1, 2, and 3, and hopefully that will work out. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to use 1, 2, and 3 above the black. My next stitch, so it's 1, 2, and 3. My 4th stitch is on the belt. 1, 2, and 3 will be below the belt. And my last stitch will be in the black. Each one of these bands I'm using a cap band, and then I'm going to tie it off with a single band. So find your first placement. And do a single crochet, and then add a cap band. The next stitch, right above the black, single crochet, and then add a cap band. And then the third on the body here above the belt, single crochet and add a cap band. So I just did the 3. Now I'm going to grab the chain. So I'm going to open it up, move that cap band out of the way, and I'm going to grab the chain on the black that's right below the yellow. I'm going to do a single crochet and add a cap band. So now I'm going to do 3 single crochets on the body of the red below the belt, and I want to be even with this top one. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, and 3. Here's my stitch. Move your black bands out of the way. And same thing, single crochet, 3 below the belt. Beside that, and 1 more. So this is what it should look like so far. You're just trying to make a square. And the last stitch is on the black. So move your cap bands out of the way. And you can see I ended here, I started here, I'm going through the chain of the black. And I'm going to do the same thing, single crochet and add a cap band. And now I'm going to end where I started. Slip knot. And then you can just go in and hide your slip knot.